Welcome everyone on the music community. This is another edition of Thinkly Talks on our music community. Today is going to be a very exciting session as we are doing it with a very cool person, and it's going to be based on audio engineering. So to quickly give you a small background about who Russell is, he's a bachelor in computer application and an ardent music lover. Russell has always been drawn to music since his childhood, and his expertise lies in advertisement, audio mixing, encompassing sound recording, sound designing, and mixing. Quickly to give you a small background of his some of his recent projects, it includes mixing for the Lee India Stand Tall ad campaign, the Wakefit Hunt for India's Sleep Champion ad, Air India 2023 commercials, and Krafton India TVC. So yeah, you have a pretty amazing and a very cool background if we look at it. And I know there is much more to your work than just this. And if we keep mentioning, it's going to be a very long list. So to quickly, break the ice and give people a small introduction of who you are, maybe you can just start sharing your journey.
Sure. Thanks, Victoria, for that lovely introduction. I also thank Thinkly for inviting me. So my name is Russel Stephen. I started my career in 2013 as an audio engineer. I was associated with a studio called Octavius Music Recording Studio, which is in Bandra. So I was with them for a good 5 years. And I started as an in-house engineer where I was assisting a lot of freelance audio engineers. And then I got to assist a lot of engineers, one of which was Bishwadeep Da, who is one of the award-winning engineer, and who's also done Madras Cafe sound design and audio recordings. And after 5 years, I decided that I should move on and start my own journey, wherein I started freelancing, and it's been more than 4.5 to 5 years already that I've been freelancing. And then now I have my own client basis wherein they call me directly for sound mixing, sound recording, and sound design work. So my main base is advertisement. When I say advertisement, is basically 99.9% of all the ad works that comes on YouTube, TVCs. So not that all the ads I mix and sound design, but there are quite a few other engineers who are in this advertisement world also. So when I say client base, these are ad agencies or production houses who are into advertisement, or people who are associated with YouTube who want to do some sort of publicity wherein they get collab with me, and they want to do an audio recording like a podcast, or advertisement wherein they need cleanup work, mixing work, wherein they need to put some music, or they want to do a sound designing. So that's when they approach me. So that's a small introduction about me, what I actually do.
Yes. So we are, going to look at the music community and see how people, have questions regarding the field of sound engineering.
Sure.
But before that, if you would just, if you have, I believe you have something ready for the, community. If you want to just share that.
Yes, I definitely. So I would like to show a small presentation of what exactly an audio engineering, or what audio engineer does. I'll just share the screen. Just let me know if you can see the screen.
Sure. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Cool. Okay. So the moment I get a film or a video from the production house. So when I say production house, is basically the people who make the entire advertisement. So today, for the representation work, I have taken an ad which I had done a few years back. So I had to take an NDA from them so that I can show it to y'all and just take you through the entire journey. So the ad is about a Wakefit company, wherein the brief was they want to show about how people spend a lot of time online and they don't get sleep. So there was a campaign wherein they were awarding them or giving them an X amount for people who sleep the longest. So that was the entire campaign. So the moment when I get a film, I see a blank canvas. So I'm sure I'll be sharing that video with you all. So once I get the film, there are certain steps that I follow. The very first step is to recording. So when I say recording, there are quite a few characters in the film that we re-record. The reason being that we re-record those character voices on an ad or on a film is because when the director is shooting the film on the location, for example, let's say karke ki there's a scene which is on a very close Indian market, and there's a couple who are doing a shopping. So when the director is shooting that entire scene, there's a lot of chaos happening around. There's a vegetable seller, there are other shopkeeper who are shouting, or there might be a fight happening in the background, just an argument. Or for example, like the crew sound who are actually shooting the entire video, there might be an incident that some a helper or somebody's noise is also getting recorded on the camera audio. So what I do is I mute the entire audio, and then I try to recreate the entire market space in sound design. So when I say sound design is basically I replicate the sound which is like an Indian market, and then I recreate people honking, or let's say there's a foley element that is when, like, for example, if I'm on a vegetable marketplace, there will be a sound of the weighing machine, there will be a sound of just people passing by. All those sounds I try to recreate. That's called SFX and foley recording. The next step is to record a voiceover. So when I say a voiceover is the voice that sells the product in the end. Like whenever there's an ad, you will see like Dabur or Britannia, it will call out the brand's name with a deep voice or with a husky voice. That's called a voiceover. The next step is to record the music. So when I say music, the music is like the backbone of the entire ad. So we collab with different music directors. So it's the choice by the film director, who picks up a music director as per his taste of musicality, and every ad needs a different type of music. When you see online or on TV, not every ad has the same music. Every ad will have a different genre of music. There will be a different style. There will be some ads will have like a full music driven ad, but there will be some ads which will have only punctuation based music. So that's the first step of recording. Now let's move on to the editing part of it. So when I say editing, once I collect all the data, which is like the foley elements of the sound design, then the dialogue recording, and then the music elements, whatever the music director gives me, what I do is I import everything, all this data into my software, which is called Protools, which is like an industry standard software. It's called Protools. So I import all these files which are on WAV formats. So when I say WAV is like a high resolution audio file. So I import all these layers, I align them, I make a group. For all the sound design elements, I will make an SFX group. For all the dialogues recording, I will make a voice group. For all the music elements, I will make a music group. So all these groups, I try to, what I will do is I try to balance it. So this balancing procedure is called mixing. So that's the third step that we move into. So once everything is assigned together, once everything is there, I will take a 5 or 10 minutes break just before I start to do the final balancing, and I will try to reference exactly what the director has in mind, that what level should be the music on, or what should be the dialogues on, or how the SFX has to blend in with the entire ad. So that's when I decide, I use any referencing or see some previous ad that the director has done, his vision, because I want to be the ears of the director. So after doing that, I start my mixing process, wherein when I all the dialogues, I will give it a slight effect or a reverb so that it's in that space. When I talk about reverb, it is basically trying to mimic the entire space where that ad was shot. For example, if it's in like a closed environment or a theater, the theater will have a different reverb than a marketplace. If I am, if there's, for example, a cave sound will sound very different from a stadium sound. The reverb and space is different. So I will recreate that entire space on sound design and mixing. And then once the music comes up, I will level the music as per the ad. For example, wherever there's a voiceover coming in, I will duck the music that comes into the entire music mixing, and then I move into the final mix of the entire ad. So just to take you all through, I would like to show you a small ad that I had worked on. Cool. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Cool. So this was the ad that I had worked on few years back, and I'll play y'all the entire mix, how it was done, and then I'll just take you through the details, how I did it. Playing back.
बताइए, बात अब यहाँ तक पहुँच गई है कि आप लोगों को सुलाने के लिए हम 10 लाख का इनाम दे रहे हैं। क्यों? अरे क्योंकि सोता ही तो नहीं है इंडिया। चलिए विस्तार से बताते हैं। टिक 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 टिक। अब बुरा सपना देखा, आंखें खुल गई। हर सुबह ऐसे ही तो जागता है इंडिया है? बिस्किट, पराठा, टोस्ट, जैम, और फिर ट्रैफिक जैम। 7:21 की लोकल और 9:21 बॉस की गाली। रगड़ो रगड़ो रगड़ते रहो। नहीं, 5 मिस कॉल, 8 डेडलाइंस, 9% इन्फ्लेशन, ओवर टाइम कर कर के रोएगा। 1 कप कॉफी, 2 कप कॉफी, 10 कप कॉफी, बस आंख नहीं बंद होनी चाहिए। क्योंकि मुंबई नेवर, बेंगलोर कहता है यू स्नूज यू लूज, दिल्ली बोले जो सोएगा वो खोएगा, और चेन्नई कहे आई विल स्लीप व्हेन आई एम डेड। वाह, मर जाएंगे पर सोएंगे नहीं। लेकिन फिर भी पता नहीं कहां से कभी एक अंगड़ाई धोखा दे जाती है, सुस्ती जगड़ लेती है, हल्की सी नींद पप्पी दे देती है, और फिर वापस कोई चिल्लाता है जागते हो। कहते हैं कि नया इंडिया सोता नहीं। अरे मैं पूछता हूँ कि अगर सोएगा नहीं तो जागेगा कैसे? तो सुनो इंडिया, कल सर उठाने से पहले आज रात तकिए का सहारा तो लो। कल दौड़ लगाने से पहले आज रात बिस्तर पे आराम तो कर लो। आखिर सोते सोते ही तो सपने बुने जाते हैं। तो आज रात सोएगा इंडिया, अब से हर रात सोएगा इंडिया, क्योंकि अब आप सोते सोते बनेंगे मिलियनेयर, और साथ ही हम आपको नवाजेंगे इंडियाज बेस्ट स्लीपर के पास से। तो लॉग ऑन कीजिए wakefit.co/sleep इंडिया स्लीप पे, और फिर सोते सोते पैसे कमाएंगे। कम ऑन।
Cool. So I hope you've seen this ad online on YouTube or on TV. Victor, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool. Okay. So I'll just take you through the process that I had done this entire ad. So when I had got the film, there was no audio to it, because when you see it, there were multiple cities. The director shot all over India. There is Hyderabad, Chennai, there is Delhi. There are all sort of scenes are there. So when I got the film, the first process that we do is to do a briefing call with the director and the producers. So a briefing call is basically a call that the director takes, and then a brief that he gives the sound designer and the music director of what sort of sound that he is looking at, and what sort of music that he wants, and or music that is in mind to deliver for this ad, or which will do justice for this ad. So when I had got this, there was no audio, and the director said karke ki Russell, go ahead and just play with it. So it was like a blank canvas for me, and then I started the sound design and the voice dub for this. So for this particular project, there was another engineer who was associated with me, who is Neil Shenoy, a very good sound designer and a very good engineer. So he had helped me with the sound design part of this particular film. So I'll just take you through the sounds that he's done for this. Okay, so this is the first scene for sound design. Playing back. Okay, because we have less time, I won't be able to play the entire thing, but just to show you a gist of it. So we started with just the ambiences. Just hear these 3 tracks. I'll just show you the names also so you can see it. Okay, can you just see this ambience near Kharghar station, general ambience Mumbai, city skyline. So these are just the audio tracks. I'll play to you. So you hear that little air and distant traffic. That's all in sound design. And then moving on, when you see the phone, there's a lot of notification sounds that I've layered. So when you hear it all together, it sounds like this. So director wanted that it should be sounding like a lot of people are getting Insta notification or Thinkly notification or YouTube notification. This is one sound. When I layered it with all the other sounds, it sounded something like this. Okay, so this is a process of sound designing wherein I take a sound and try to recreate it, give it some sort of an effect or some sort of a delay so that it sounds repetitive, or some reverb so that it gives that ambience to it. And then moving on, when I'll just show you a station sound. Hear this. Okay, so that's not the actual sound from the shoot. I had to replace that sound. So for example, you see a station, but I have replaced it with some other sound, with another train horn sound. So it gives you that realistic feel, okay, that you are in that scene, because the audience should feel that entire scene when they are watching this ad. Okay, so this is a part of sound designing. Moving forward, the next step is a voice recording. So when you were seeing this entire ad, there was one voiceover or a sutradhar who was explaining the entire thing. So for this particular ad, the director wanted a very specific sort of a voice. So after like 2-3 days of struggle, he finally decided that he wanted Vijay Raj for this ad. So the voice that you hear is Vijay Raj's Circa voice. So we went to the studio. We had called him as per his timeline. So he came to the studio, a gem of a person. This is how his voice sounds like.
बताइए, बात अब यहाँ तक पहुँच गई है कि आप लोगों को सुलाने के लिए हम 10 लाख का इनाम दे रहे हैं.
So that's his voice. So I'll just play you the way it was recorded on studio without any filters or without any effects. So this is the raw voice.
बताइए, बात अब यहाँ तक पहुँच गई है कि आप लोगों को सुलाने के लिए हम 10 लाख का इनाम दे रहे हैं.
Okay, so when I played you this voice, this sounded very raw. There was no effect. There was no filters put to it. The reason I can't use this raw voice to the entire ad is because there's too much going on in the entire film. There's solid hardcore sound design in the background. There is heavy music which is playing, which I'll take you through on the music journey. Then there is other voices which are there. So when I play only this raw voice with the entire film, you will see that the voiceover is dying down. I'll just play you without any filter, the raw voice with the entire music.
बताइए, बात अब यहाँ तक पहुँच गई है कि आप लोगों को सुलाने के लिए हम 10 लाख का इनाम दे रहे हैं. क्यों? अरे क्योंकि सोता ही तो नहीं है.
Okay, so when I played it, you see it sounded very dull. It's not sitting in the mix. So then what I do is I try to compress it. I mean, to compress the entire voiceover. So when I talk about compression is basically it's a plugin. What it does is it will increase the sounds which are lower. It will make it louder, and the sounds which are louder, it will reduce it to a point wherein it sounds even. So I'll just play you with that compression and all the effects that I have put for this voice. I'd add some reverb. I had to EQ the voice. So when I talk about EQ is about if the voice is very bassy or something, I'll try to cut the low frequencies and make it little sharper by pushing the highs. So this is how it sounds with the filters on and with the entire mix coming up.
बताइए, बात अब यहाँ तक पहुँच गई है कि आप लोगों को सुलाने के लिए हम 10 लाख का इनाम दे रहे हैं। क्यों? अरे क्योंकि सोता ही तो नहीं है इंडिया। चलिए विस्तार से बताते हैं। टिक टिक।
You heard that? So that's the difference that it makes in the mix, that when you process it, it sounds more clear, it sounds more prominent, and it cuts through the entire mix. So now moving on to the music part of it, I'll just play you a bit of it. This is just the music track. I'll just move forward. So that's the music. The music director's name is Anshul Thakkar, very good music director. So this particular film, there was a little fight that had happened between the music director and me. Is because I mean, it's not nothing major. It's just a call that had to be taken, and then the director comes in. So there's this scene where the melody is on the trumpet section. So this part, so I had an idea wherein I was like, "Okay, Anshul, can I use your trumpet melody and replace it with the horn sounds?" So if you hear in the sound design, I have actually replaced his horns with, 1 second, I'll just play you. Did you hear that? So that's part of a sound design. And once everything was done, I had to mix everything and make it sound. Wherever the sound design was required, I had kept it on. Wherever the sound design was not required, I had kept it below the entire mix. And wherever the music was needed, I had to push that forward. And wherever the voiceover was required, I had to keep the voiceover more prominent than the other clip. So everything was balanced. Okay, so this entire journey took almost like a good week to for the completion, because there was a lot of back and forth from the client side, wherein they wanted some things to be changed, some SFX to be changed. 1 second. Yep. So that's how I that was my approach in terms of sound design and the entire mix for this particular commercial. I hope you all understood what exactly I was trying to explain in that given time. Over to you, Victoria.
This was the coolest thing I've seen in a while, and that's not because I know you personally, but it's also because honestly, I'm seeing the community, and there are too many people that are beginners in the field. Like I'm seeing questions which I'm going to ask you in a minute. These guys are all beginners who are very much interested in the field, or want to know. So same like me. If let's say I'm a beginner, this particular session of you sharing what went behind an ad was mind blowing, and honestly very interesting to see the little thing that goes behind it. Not that I've not heard it from you before, but this all together for people who are just starting, it was a very cool thing to watch. Yeah, so I think thank you so much, Russell, for that. We'll quickly go on to some questions that have been asked on the community. So Jared is asking, if a beginner is to start with audio engineering, what would be the key steps or key guidelines to follow?
Okay, so if somebody is like starting with, definitely he has to go a good college, which is like when I say college, it should be like a good engineering college. So there are quite a few academies that have started. Like Mumbai University has one wherein you can have a professional degree from them, and then there is a digital academy, which is also a very good institute wherein you can start your journey of learning. So it's I think I'm not sure, but it's a 2 or 3 year course wherein you can join and learn from them. After learning that, you can associate with a studio, maybe not just advertising, maybe because there are a lot of scope that an engineer can go into, not just advertising. There is a music field, there are films, there are companies who require a lot of sound engineers. So looking forward, maybe you can associate with them. You can get a good profile on LinkedIn wherein people can see you, your profile, and then maybe they can approach you. The best way is also by assisting an engineer, like a senior engineer, wherein you can learn on board and know the what exactly the whole world is all about, rather than you stepping in on your own and struggling where to start.
Right. Yeah, I think that has answered his question very well. And I was just thinking that maybe later, whenever you have the time, you can go on the app and just go on this community and see
Sure,
how
definitely,
much
I'll do
people
that.
have appreciated your, explaining skills of the ad. So there's another question from Rahul. People say Pro Tools is the industry standard for mastering. Is it true? And there are no other tools as good as that for mastering. So there are multiple questions he's asked. Can mastering be done with Logic Pro? And if yes, how to compare the output between these two? I have used Logic and Ableton for mixing and it sounds great.
So, see, definitely Pro Tools is an industry standard. The reason being, there's a lot of flexibility that you can do with Pro Tools. I'm not saying just with Pro Tools, but other softwares also. But then, see, in ads or in films, Pro Tools is preferred as a first preference, being that it is a lot of the entire industry works over Pro Tools, and it is better. For example, if I'm doing an ad work, and then let's say tomorrow it has to go to a 5.1 mixing engineer. So he's definitely working on Pro Tools, which I know because Dolby is tied up with Pro Tools. So it is flexible. When I move my session, when my project to, if I give it to him, it is easier for him also to just take it ahead and finish his 5.1 mixes. Secondly, when he asked me about that mixing in other software, see, you can mix on any software, you can master it on any software. It's not about what DAW you use, or it's not about what fancy plugins or filters that you use. It's all about your ears. If it sounds good to you on any on your DAW, it will sound good on any other system also. But the only thing is, it has to be mixed properly. Like I have seen a famous engineer, I will not take his name, but there was this conversation when a famous song came out, and then in an interview he was asked, do you know how did I mixed it? So everybody was like, maybe in one of the fancy speaker, or maybe in one of the a good pair of headphones. Then he laughed at them and he said, I mixed it on my iMac speakers. So it was a shocking thing. But see, that's about it. People will not know how did I mix it. Did I mix it this audio on the studio, or did I mix it at my home? It's all about the output. So it's not about the gears that you use. It's about the ear that you put in and give the efforts on. I hope I've answered that person's question.
That was a very cool answer. I think it's all like that's all that matters for how raw and creative you can get on your side.
Yes.
If with limited, softwares and limited technology, so many people have gone so far and then progressed to bigger technology.
Correct.
So yeah, I think that's a very good way to answer that question. There's a question from Sunanda Mathur. I'm pretty sure I'm going to mispronounce the name, but she said, I got to know in this field when Russell Pukuti won the Academy Award for sound mixing for Slumdog Millionaire. Who are the people you admire in this field?
Definitely Russell sir is one person that I mean, he's like one guru for me. Because it's not just the award. I would say there are a lot of people, but it is his creativity and it is his hard work that has put on. And when I'm sure you must have seen that film, and when you hear that sound, what he's recreated or how he's mixed it, definitely he deserved that award. So there are quite a few other engineers also but there are many, but I would not say I'm a big fan or big I look for, but my thing is I will grasp some knowledge from one engineer, some knowledge from another engineer. So there are many actually, not just one.
So, like, just name another random one that you've learned so much from.
If you want me to name, there is one engineer called Devang Rach. There is another engineer who's Prathamesh Dudane, who's done song mixing for Geraya, a very good engineer. And then, of course, Neil Shanai that I was talking about, very good sound designer. So these are the people that I keep their work, and then I appreciate what exactly they are doing. I try to take a few inputs from them whenever I meet them.
Yeah, I think why I asked you to name in the first place is because most of these kind of works go in the behind the scene. There are
Yes.
people that acknowledge definitely, but because it goes behind the scene, not many of us know, much more people. Like, for example, underdogs. Like you yourself, if you see, there is so much that goes into it, like you showed in the ad. But then I think lot more recognition is needed, kind of. In
See, I mean, sorry to interrupt, but then now talking about recognitions, YouTube and Insta and all the social media networking, they have. I mean, it started few years back, wherein whenever there was a new song which was released online or a new ad that had popped up on internet, they definitely put a credit list on the description box, wherein, for example, if they will mention the music director's name, they will mention engineer's name. For example, if I have done this commercial, they will definitely put my credential on the list. So what happens is, for example, if you're searching for some engineer and their work, you can just type in their name, everything will just pop out on that. So you come to know, okay, who's mixer. Like if you go to Sony channels, Sony music page, and if you hear any music, they will definitely have a credit list of people who have actually worked on the song, from the recording engineer to the mixing engineer to the people who have actually created the music. So you come to know, okay, who's done the track. Or when you see the title, there might be also the credential coming, and so you know who's done the actual work. Wherein few years back किसी को पता ही नहीं होता था कि किसने काम किया, मतलब thankless job जैसा हो जाता था.
Yeah, no, true. That if that feature is around, I mean, I have seen it also. But yeah, that is very cool. Much more recognition, much more scope for people to know कि हाँ इसमें इतना scope है. We'll move on to the next question, which is from Aaron. Going from basic group pads that are available on Play Store to all the way to Pro Tools, Logic Pro, etc. According to you, what is the app software to learn audio engineering or audio mixing?
See, there's no hard and forth rule. I told you in the previous question also, it's all about your ear. I mean, I don't know what term that he's using for pads, but let's say an audio sample. See, there are quite a few free software which are available in the market who are selling sounds. Earlier, you used to get samples which are like not compressed or not EQ'd. But now, if you see any latest DAWs or any free software, they have all produced music tracks which are available in the market for free. There are paid things also, but then it's about you and your creativity, how you use that audio and make it into like a good record.
True. I think his question was very similar to all of the new people that want to know more about audio engineering. Yeah, but I think I hope that answers his question. I have an interesting question from Desmond. So he's acknowledged your hard work. A lot of hard work and creativity flows in your work. So how do you overcome any creative block?
Very good question. So I generally, what I do is I just take a break if it's like a very busy thingy or like a hectic day, or I just go to play football and take like a big break. Or maybe just if I'm getting another session, I'll just try to tell the client karke ki I'm just got over with a very busy schedule. Maybe just we can start reschedule the date and start something fresh, because your mind needs some space to get over the things that I like. For just to throw an example, I am working on an ad jingle which is like an a cappella. So in my sleep also I can still hear that melody. So if I have to start something new, I need to take one break so that at least I forget that melody and start something new.
Yeah, true. Sometimes your hobbies turn into your nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We'll have a question from Kabir. Hi, Russell. Out of all the projects you've been a part of, do you have a personal favorite, and what made it stand out for you?
Personal favorite. See, I've worked on many ads. There's no favorite, but there are few that are close. I had worked on an Adidas commercial wherein it had Ranveer Singh, and very cool ad, and a lot of scope for sound design. I can't show you here because of copyright thing, but then it is one of my the close ones that I had worked on because it had a lot of sound design scope, plus there was a good music that I had mixed it. So I mean, yeah, that's one of the best ones that I have worked on. And then also this Wakefit commercial that I had worked on.
Nice, that is pretty cool. We'll just wrap up with a couple of, I think, 2-3 more questions, and then we can wrap it up. We'll ask a very interesting question from Sarah. Russell, what inspired you to combine your passion for music with a career in advertisement audio mixing?
Okay, well, that's a difficult one. So I actually my background was I did my engineering. Okay, but I was not very happy doing that. Whatever that corporate times were not matching, and I was not happy from inside. So then I was very passionate about music. I was very passionate about sound. So that's when I chose this direction, and this is like it is my daily bread and butter. But this is what gives me that high to doing something new. It's not that in a corporate life that I have to come and again do that same thing. In advertisement, every day is a new ad, every day is a new genre of music, every day you're meeting new people and new conversation that are happening, which keeps on like new knowledge that I get to grasp. So this is what fascinates me, and this is what gives me that high to keep on working every day.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, we'll wrap it up with one last question. Could you please explain the key roles and responsibility of an audio engineer in the production of music, film, or other media?
Okay. The first one would be the how you present something to the person. Basically, it's not only about your technical knowledge about what you do, it's also about the communication. So there are quite a few engineers who are like very good at their work, and very sonically they are very sorted, or their mixes sounds very good on any system, but the communication is not right. So if the director is not happy with your communication skill, he will doubt your technicality skills also. So you need to have both the knowledge. You need to have that control over your communication skills as well as control over your technicality skill, because I've seen engineers who have not done a good mix, but still their mixes go on because they have a good communication skill. Maybe they will just talk to you in ways, and they will try to sell their mix. But there are engineers who will be quiet and do their job properly, but they're not communicating. So a director or somebody who's called him for that job, they may be thinking, okay, maybe he's not confident. So you have to be very confident in your work and what you are doing, and in your communication skill or in anything that you do, just be more confident and be sure about what exactly are you trying to do with that job.
True. Yeah, I think that is the best way to put it out there. I mean, I like how you did mention theories of how to be a good and responsible sound engineer. Maybe just be real, communicate well. That's a very nice way to put it out. Yeah, I think I've had the best time in today's AMA. I think the world of music community is extremely happy and, fully satisfied that they've spent these many minutes with you to learn from you. I don't think, there would have been any better way to put it out there. Like Neha has also mentioned that this is the best layman language explanation anyone could ever give. Yeah, so thank you so much, Russell, for your time and for coming on here on Thinkly and sharing this beautiful journey of yours, as well as talking to newbies in the field, as well as people who have questions in the field. So yeah, I thank and appreciate you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling me.
Yes, you definitely hop onto the world of music community and check all the.
I'll do that. Definitely, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.